Andrew, this time last week, or last week, you were a bit frustrated with the team's standards. This week, what did you make of the response?
Yeah, look, really pleased with the response. I was really flat last week. I thought, and so were our players, to be fair. We're disappointed with the effort we gave last week, but we dug into that a fair bit this week, and I think if we play like that every week, we'll be okay.
I saw Jeremy McGovern revving the boys up. Can you give us an insight into what he said, what it might have done it? Do you think that helped early on, or do you think that inspired him a little bit?
As far as I know, what I could hear, he just swore for about 30 seconds. So, look, Gov's so passionate about this football club, and massive day for our club today with Gov and Dom, their official send-off. So just thought it was an opportunity for Gov to speak to the group about the opportunity they had to represent the football club every week, and he's the ultimate competitor. He was during his football career. So it was just a moment. I thought it was a nice touch.
It's no secret you're obviously in a rebuild. How much can you use games like today for the next 6 months to point to the standard that you can set to compete with the best?
Yeah, and that's exactly what we'll do. Probably for a month we've dropped our level, and then it's been a little bit of personnel. There's been some challenges, no doubt, in that space, but I think we saw today and we learnt today that it doesn't take any talent, skill, where you were in the draft to give defensive effort and intent, and I thought that was the best we've defended all year.
Well, just on that intensity, how good is that as a coach, seeing that, pretty much for the whole game that brought that?
Yeah, well, I got excited on the bench a few times. That's why I've almost lost my voice. But I did. I loved it. I loved our intent to get after them. Like, Adelaide are a seriously good football team, and they fight tackles hard. But I thought at times we had the first guy might have missed the tackle, but the second and third guys were able to stick them, and it generated some. As you guys would be aware, the crowd got really involved in the game, which was what we want to do.
Shanahan seems to have such a cool head for someone so young. What's he like, behind closed doors?
Yeah, he is. He's a quiet young man, but he's got this real inner drive to be a good player, and I think at times today we didn't kick it to him very well, and and the Adelaide key backs, they're exceptional in that aerial contest. So Job's he's a young key forward. He's going to have to keep learning to fight his way through it. But, I think we're seeing some signs that our fans are getting pretty excited about what the future might look like if Job keeps working hard.
You shuffle down the other end. Andrew, this team scores 100 points every the last 6 of the last 7 games or something like that. To keep them under 100, under 100, well short in defence yourself. You'll be on. Phil ended up with 3 in the end, but his first 3 quarters, it must be stoked with that back line the way they defended today.
Yeah, look, I think it was a real team effort, but in particular, like Ruben Jimby, it's extraordinary he wasn't in that under-22 team, because people aren't watching closely enough if he's not in that team. He is just an unbelievable competitor, and I thought he was well supported today. Our system of defence was what we expect from our players today, and the way we defended our D50 we were really pleased with.
I think a lot of fans got the same thing. They couldn't believe that team. What did you say to him when that team came out?
Look, I didn't say anything to him. Rubes isn't driven by awards. That's not why he plays the game. So, look, he may have been disappointed. I didn't actually ask him, but I thought it was, I just don't think they're watching closely enough for some of the things Ruben's done this year, but we love him on our team.
The energy he gives in that back line as well, how much does that kind of rub off on the other players around him?
Yeah, he's flowing locks when he takes off. It's an impressive set of hair. Look, I think that he's still a young player. He's played his first season in the back line this year, and as I said, most weeks we've played him on the opposition's best forward. It sort of doesn't happen across the league. So, we love him in our team. We love the way he competes, and he's going to continue to get better because that's the way he's wired.
Can you tell us a little bit about the conversation when you told him he was going to take on a guy that's literally nicknamed the Beast, and he's given away, not just height, size as well, and still took on that challenge?
Look, Rubes didn't even flinch. He's like, yep, no worries. If that's what I have to do for the team, we'll do it. And he prepared himself really well. He was well supported at times, and it was a solid effort. I know he got three in the end, but I think he kept him goalless to maybe halfway through the third quarter, and then obviously got a few, but pretty hard to keep him down with the offensive potency that Adelaide have.
Tom McCarthy threw him in the midfield more this week. What did you make of that performance?
Yeah, look, I thought he was really, really good. It's quite amazing what Tom's doing, considering he started playing AFL maybe 2 or 3 months ago, mid-season draft. We're so fortunate to be able to have got him. We knew he could play mid. We just thought it was easier to settle him into the back line at AFL level, but I think you saw today a player that can play AFL midfield quite comfortably, and got caught a couple of times, but I love that because he was trying to take the game on, and that's the way we want him to play.
I suppose you said he only played a couple of months. He's the chance to play a full pre-season, and then learn the structures if you want to keep him there. What's the ceiling for him?
It's a great question, and it's a little bit unknown because he hasn't had an AFL pre-season and even only has had 1 or 2 VFL pre-seasons. So prior to that, he was playing amateur football. So it's been a steep learning curve the last couple of years for Tom, but I think once he settles the end of this season, gets his body, starts building it into a real AFL player, I'm not sure where the ceiling is.
The centre clearance count was 18 to 8. It was a bit lopsided, obviously. How do you look at that? Something that's been a problem this year. Is that structural personnel? Because I know you're obviously missing Harley and York and those guys. How do you look to rectify that in the long term?
Look, it's a bit of both. There was some at times that I think they only scored 2 goals from centre bounce, so we did force them to some areas where we could defend, but it's an issue in our game. There's no question, and it is a work in progress for us. So a little bit of system, a little bit of personnel, a little bit of just continuity of playing together. I think if you looked at our centre bounce mix and how much it's changed throughout the year compared to what the best teams in the comp have, they just have continuity through there. So we've thrown a lot of guys through there, and I'm sure the more they play, the better they'll get.
What did you make of Duggan's Thilthorpe?
I didn't see it. I thought he got him in the shoulder because I saw Thilthorpe come off with the shoulder, but on the bench, that's what I saw. Obviously didn't see the vision, so I'm not sure.
The decision to go a bump though rather than a tackle?
Yeah, I honestly haven't seen the incident. So he chose to bump, did he?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, Thilthorpe played the game out, so looked like he came off with a shoulder to me.
Matt Flynn looked like he hurt his ankle before half-time. Still obviously played out the game. How's he tracking? Is he okay?
Yeah, I think so. I think I sort of want to shout out to Archer. We had a few guys today a bit wounded, so Archer came off at stage with a sore foot. Flinny copped an ankle knock, and Ryan Marrick had a big corky. Clay Hall got a hit late. So sometimes in footy that happens, and you just have to fight your way through it. So I thought those guys continued to compete and provided some aerial presence for us.
And Brady Hoff's first half job on Isaac Rankin, they forced him to basically throw him in the midfield. What did you make of that?
Yeah, I've sort of been, like, Hoffy's been really growing as a mid, so sort of putting him and Bakes back this week just to really stabilise our back line a little bit. He had a role on Rankin, but he still was playing within our system, so it wasn't a full lockdown role. And then Peatling went off at half-time, so that's why Rankin went through the midfield. Obviously had 10 or 11 touches in that third quarter. He's a pretty exceptional player, Isaac Rankin. But I thought Hoffy looked really dynamic in the back line today.
And Kim Kelly today too, 10 clearances, 19 contested possessions, 5 tackles, I think. It was a real leadership performance from him.
Yeah, it's a great shout. I think probably the last 3 weeks TK's really lifted his game, and I think I said last week it might have been his best game he's played for the year, but he's probably topped it today. So that's our expectation from TK, and it's great to see him playing some good footy. All right, thanks guys.